Welcome to Fall in Line Podcast. If you guys could please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. That's where the magic happens, right behind me. Enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of Virtual Fall in Line Podcast. We are virtual again for this week's episode here. Welcome back, fellas. I am your host, Ross. I'm here with my co-host, TT and Austin. Fellas, let them know how we're feeling this week. Give them a little brief update on your teams and how you're feeling this week, and let's get started.
I feel okay. We lost. It was a game we should have won, beat ourselves, but it was fun. I got to enjoy the game close to home and got to actually see it, so it was pretty fun.
Yeah, you were there. That's pretty cool. You got to be there in person.
Yeah, I loved it.
D-Hop still going off for my fantasy team. Let's go. Austin, how you feeling about them Pats?
I'm feeling good. We got a good win. We played all around good game, good offensive game, good defensive game. Had some good coaching.
That was a statement win for sure.
Yeah. Back.
I'm actually less upset with the Lions this week. I thought they played the Dolphins very well. Offense was cruising in the first half. No complaints there. They kind of made some dumb mistakes. 4th and 2 with the game on the line. They throw a deep pass to the end zone, but it was there. The receiver could have caught it. He didn't catch it. But yeah, no, I like how we played the Dolphins. We still have the world's worst defense, which moves me on to my next point on who we think the trade deadline winner was, and just a few examples of who we thought won the trade deadline. Just one example and why. And I'll start that off because I just kind of piggybacked off that. I thought the Detroit Lions actually, I was really impressed with what they did, dishing off Hockenson. I don't like that it's in division, but, you know, our GM and their GM have said multiple times they traded with us during the draft so we could trade up against JMO. You know, they don't care if they're trading division. If it's the best deal, it's the best deal. And that's what they said. Hockenson, 8th overall pick 4 years ago, I believe, for us. It's a really tough loss. He's a good player, but you know, we got some good return. We got a 2nd round pick and I believe a 4th round pick. I know we dished off Hockenson for 2024 4th round pick or something along those lines. There were some picks involved there. I don't have the exact details of the trade in front of me, but the reason why I think that was a good trade is because I personally feel like that offense is good enough that they don't need to pay a tight end. He was going to be making about $13 million a year. He's going to get paid right in that, you know, that radius of the top 5 tight ends in the league. He wanted to be paid like a top tight end. We shouldn't be spending that amount of money on our offense. Our offense doesn't need that amount of money. All that money should go into that worst defense in the league, as I just mentioned, because if we had a slightly better defense, we'd probably have 4 wins this year, 5 wins this year. Our defense is horrendous. It should be built from the ground up. We have a few good pieces in there right now with Okudah and Hutchinson, as well as, you know, we're going to get Tracy Walker back. But during this time, that offense could spare to lose someone just so you can build that defense in the draft, in free agency. Now that frees up $13 million a year. You can pay someone on defense. So that's my little rant. Sorry, I went a little longer than I wanted to. Fellas, go ahead.
Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, so mine's not exactly a trade deadline, but more what they did a couple weeks before with signing CMC. So I'm going with San Francisco in this one. To be able to not give up a first-round pick and still get one of the best, if not the best, utility weapons in the backfield was huge for them. And then they also got a pick back for Jeff Wilson, a 5th-round pick, sending him to Miami. So I think they turn into legit Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, they showed what they could do with him last game. That's just a little brief insight.
Yeah, and wait till they get Debo back too. That's going to be a fun team.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with another team that didn't hit it necessarily at the deadline, but it's going to be Roquan Smith for the Ravens was an unreal trade. The fact that they got possibly the best middle linebacker in the game right now to me. A dude that can do everything for a 2nd and a 5th round pick. Yeah, they're going to have to pay him next year. Probably won't keep him. But if you're trying to make a playoff push like the Ravens are in a division that's just not playing well, the Bengals just lost Jamar Chase. You got the Browns, who are the Browns, and Pittsburgh, who is to some people, one of the worst teams in the league. It kind of sets a path for you guys to take the division I think they were looking at, and then they're like more looking at, all right, well, let's try to make a deep playoff push and let's go get what we need, and that's defensive help. And they got, like I said, the best middle linebacker to me in the game right now in Roquan Smith for literally slim to nothing. So that's going to be my trade deadline winner. I do want to just throw in Naheem Hines to the Bills was also a really good pickup. I think that really is going to take them pretty deep.
I mean, that's a good pickup for a team that really didn't need much else, but yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to add to the Hockenson thing is he's a free agent after this year. So whether he signs back with the Vikings, who knows? If he doesn't sign back with the Vikings, that in division stuff doesn't matter. We're not winning the division this year, so we don't care if we make them better. But let's move on to our locks. All three of us hit our locks, boys. We finally did it. We had two viewers hit their locks. It was Tank and TT. Your dad hit another lock. Tank picked I believe he picked the Cowboys.
I think he did. I think he went against his own team.
Yes, and then your dad picked, I believe, the Seahawks. Not exactly positive on Tank's pick. I do apologize, Tank.
I do believe it was the Cowboys. He was talking about it.
I know he hit though, and I know us three hit. And yes, TT, I saw you listening. I have it right here for you. Finally, brother, you have a respectable 2 wins now. So my 3 and Austin's 3. Austin, we got to cut this stuff out right now. I don't have our records in front of me right now. I believe TT, you had 11 wins on the week. I had 10, and Austin had 10 as well. Yep, TT 11-4. I went 10-5. Austin went 10-5. So to get this bad taste out of my mouth, fellas, let's keep it rolling. Let's move into the week here. Thursday night football. Eagles at Texans. Eagles favored by 13.5. That is one heck of a spread. I think it's pretty simple to say that Eagles are going to win this game. With a spread like that, it's very rarely that there's an upset that big. So I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one. I think that they are just that team this year, dude. Every week where you think maybe this is the week that they lose, maybe this is the week where someone gets one up on them, with some exceptions, they still come out on top and they still play good football, offense, defense, special teams. That Jalen Hurts to Brown connection was unreal last week. I think it continues tonight, and the Eagles win.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy choice here. You're taking the best team in football right now, the Eagles, against a Texans team who is without their top 2 receivers in Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins, both out tonight. The only thing they have on that offense otherwise is going to be Damian Pierce, who's good, but not good enough to control and go beat the best team in football. So give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles as well. That offense is just too high powered. I think it's going to be a statement game, and I think they're going to put the foot on the pedal and just absolutely blow them out and get Jalen Hurts out of there by halftime.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the Sunday games, starting out with Chargers at Falcons. Chargers favored by 3 in this game. I'm opting not to start this one because I'm a little tied up.
All right, TT, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I do think it's going to be a close game. In the end, I think the Chargers pull it out. Don't be surprised if the Falcons do win. It's not a game I would put on a parlay or anything, just because the Falcons are on a high upset alert this year. They're very good against the spread, and the Chargers just aren't playing the best of ball. They're banged up. I mean, everybody's banged up on that Chargers team. I do think they are still better overall, and with some of the backups they even have in. So give me the Chargers in this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers as well. You know, they're coming off a bye week, so they've had some time. Hopefully Justin Herbert's back to fully healthy. I know he's dealing with an injury and just hasn't looked like himself. But unfortunately, they still don't have Keenan Allen, and they'll be without Mike Williams. So I'm still going with them after the Falcons are coming off a win in OT. So
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers on the road as well. You guys hit everything. I don't like the pieces that they're missing on that offense, but I still think that they're overall good enough to win that game. I'm not gonna knock PJ Walker, but let's be real, the Falcons should have lost that game.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to say that when a team completes a Hail Mary, but if DJ Moore doesn't do that helmet takeoff, then they win that game. So I mean it's hard to look past that. But I'm going Chargers. All right. Dolphins at Bears. Dolphins favored by 4.5 in this game. One of the intriguing things about this game is it's at Soldier Field in November against the Dolphins. Now, I know that team's talented. I know that, that's kind of a weird concept to think about outdoors affecting a team, but let's be real. It does. I do think the Dolphins end up winning this game, but I do think that spread is pretty accurate. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going Dolphins.
Yeah, I think with Chicago losing their head guy on defense, that's definitely going to affect them, and they're going to see that big in this game. I think this game does become a little bit of a shootout. Both offenses are high flying, and I think Justin Fields is going to want to test out Claypool. So I am going with the Dolphins, but like you said, I think it is closer than some people think, and I think it's a shootout.
Yeah. I'm gonna lock in the Dolphins this week.
Lock it
I think
up.
I think that team is way too fast for a defense that just lost their captain, their best pass rusher. The corners aren't very fast. You watched one of their main corners get caught when he should have scored against the Patriots. Eddie Jackson loves to give up the deep ball. And then you got two wide receivers that are on pace to have the greatest duo ever in the NFL. I think the Dolphins win this one, just like Dallas kind of beat up on Chicago last week in the end. I think it's going to be close around halftime, but in the end, I don't know if Justin Fields can throw the ball around like Tua is going to be able to. Give me the Dolphins lock this week.
All right. Panthers at Bengals. Bengals favored by a touchdown in this game, favored by 7. That's also tough, but I'm going Bengals at home. They got embarrassed by the Browns on national TV. I think that was bound to happen. I know I didn't pick it, but I also didn't know the severity of Jamar Chase's injury, and I think they're still getting used to that offense without Jamar Chase, and I think they're really picked up on something in the second half. I know Burrow had 2 touchdown passes in the second half. I believe they might have both been to T. Higgins, but regardless, he threw 2 touchdown passes. I think they're starting to gel again, figuring out, okay, who's our go-to now? Are we just going to spread it out? What are we going to do? And I think that carries over to this game and they win at home.
Yeah, I think the Bengals end up pulling this one off too. That's another one. Don't be surprised if the Panthers win. They're playing decent ball too. And it's crazy, they don't have Baker, they don't have Robbie Anderson, they don't have CMC, but you got all these guys stepping up and making plays for the Panthers right now. And PJ Walker's playing ball. So give me the Bengals in this one. I do think they end up pulling it out just because they're better overall, but I think this one is when I wouldn't touch the spread for a full touchdown at all. So
Yeah, I think the Panthers have a little bit of a hangover after losing that game in OT, and I think the Bengals, like you said, they did bounce back second half. The offensive line just has to hold up a little bit so Joe can get the ball out, and
yeah,
he needs to release the ball a little bit faster too. And I think not having Chase as a safety blanket is kind of bugging him, but he does have Tyler Boyd and some other weapons on that offense like Joe Mixon that I think they pull this game off.
T. Higgins.
Yep.
T. Higgins.
All right. Packers at Lions. Packers favored by 3.5 in this game. Both teams extremely disappointing. But I'll let you guys take this one. Let me know how you're feeling.
Yeah, I think this is kind of like a must-win for the Packers. I think they go in full panic mode if they don't win this game, so I'm taking them. I think if they don't win this game, they almost hang it up for the season because they need this win. Yeah.
I think that's the way most of the season's going to go the rest of the way for them. As you know, it's going to be a must-win every week, and I think it starts this week. The Packers are a team who like it's you still have Aaron Rodgers. They surprised me, not necessarily coming back, but putting on a couple more scores in the end of the game against the Bills. Romeo Dobbs seems to be the deep threat here. I do think Green Bay wins this one. I do think it's still going to be a ugly game, just because neither team is just able to get it like completely going on both sides of the ball. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with the Packers as well. I don't need to dive too deep into it. Worst defense in the league. Packers need a must win. Kind of like what Austin said. That's basically it. I will say, as a Lions fan, I'm more confident of them going into this game at home against this struggling Packers team than I have been for a lot of other games this year, which is a lot different than I've felt playing the Packers in the past. All right. Colts at Patriots. Patriots favored by 5 in this game. And let me just pause you guys for a second here because I'm taking the Patriots as my lock of the week in this game right here. Patriots -5. Lock it in. They're winning this game by 10 plus. Let's go.
Hey.
Jonathan Taylor might be out. They're still trying to break in their quarterback here. The Patriots always have a sneaky good defense. I can't imagine what they're going to scheme up for, Sam Ellinger playing that game without Jonathan Taylor. I don't think it's going to be a problem for Bill. I think he takes care of this at home.
Yeah, I'm going with the Pats as well. I think you nailed it. Coming off a good win against a key division rival, that was 5-2. So I mean, I think that Mac Jones has a little bit of his confidence left. Ramondre Stevenson, 70 yards on the ground and 70 receiving. So I think he's the real deal, and I think we stick with him and win this game.
yeah, I think this is the first time everyone's gone against the Colts this year. Because I'm gonna go the Pats too. The Colts just, like I said, they're the most disappointing team of the season. Everyone had high praise for them, and they're not doing anything great. Pats defense is a top 5 defense in the league. The offense is on and off. I think this is a week they're gonna be on just because the Colts are so down on themselves. No Taylor, no win. So Pats take it.
All right. Love where our minds are at. Let's go Bills at Jets. Bills favored by 11.5 in this game on the road. It just kind of tells you how much better Vegas thinks that they are than the Jets. And I agree. I'm going Bills in this game. Not much has to be said. There's a little trouble in paradise there with Zach Wilson at quarterback. I've seen a lot of hate. I didn't watch the Jets versus the Patriots. I saw highlights of it on Red Zone, and it looked like he was making the dumbest decision. So yeah, Bills.
Yeah, I'm the same reason. I don't think the Jets offense is that good without Brees Hall in it. So Bills. Simple as that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bills as well in this one. Coming off a good win, and Jets are coming off a bad loss. So I think missing Brees Hall is definitely hurting them. They've only had 51 yards on the ground last game. And I think Bills are just the overall better team.
I like it. All right. Vikings at Commanders. Vikings favored by 3 in this game. And TT, you saw him in person. Why don't you start? How do you feel about this game?
Vikings D line is really good. They're really big, and those are some swole dudes. Darius Smith is a freak of nature. Look for him to have at least 2 more sacks this week. They need some secondary help. They really just sit in their zones and don't like to stay with the wide receiver. But I do think they end up pulling it out because the offense is really nice. They're connecting. They should have lost last week. We botched the punt. But give me the Vikings this week. They will continue to look really good.
Yeah, give me the Vikings and pass me that hammer because Vikings are my lock of the week.
Let's go.
That offense is just hitting on all cylinders. Delvin Cook looks amazing. I'm so glad I traded him for JT a couple weeks ago. Justin Jefferson is back healthy. Defense looks solid. Commanders are coming off a win against the Colts, a 1-point win. So that scares me a little bit, but I still think that the Vikings take this one.
Yeah. I'm going Vikings as well, fellas. Vikings look very impressive against the Cardinals. They're just a good team. I mean, 6-1. Hawkinson added to their offense. That's another security blanket for Kirk Cousins, who is not afraid to check down the ball ever. Also not afraid to take that deep shot though. So I think that they're going to win this game. They're a better team than the Commanders. On the road though is tough. But I got the Vikings in this game.
What's the spread?
3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right. Raiders at Jags. Raiders favored by 1.5 in this game.
Yeah, I can start this one out. Watching Las Vegas last week, they had 200 yards of offense and 70 of them came from the backup QB. The offense just looked awful. They're facing a tough Jags defense, so I'm going with the Jags in this one. As long as the offense can get going and put up a couple touchdowns, maybe they'll win this game.
Every week there's that 1 week where a team played really bad last week, and then they kind of turn it around the week after and pick up a win. I think that's going to be the Raiders this week, just because the Jags are good. They're still young. Trevor Lawrence is young and dumb. I think the Raiders end up winning, but I think it stays close. Carr's got to get something going. He's got to get something going big time. I mean, there's no way they go back-to-back weeks without putting up over 20 points, and I don't think the Jags are going to be able to stay with them this week. So,
yeah, one other thing I wanted to add too is how about ETN with 156 yards on the ground?
I was just gonna say ETN's a monster.
Yeah.
Still not enough for me to pick the Jags. I'm going Raiders. They need a big bounce back game. Devontae Adams, 1 reception for 3 yards. That's not going to happen again. That's,
yeah, I bet he wishes he stayed with Green Bay.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be pissed off going in this week, and he's going to have a monster week. So with that, I'm going Raiders. All right, moving on to the Sunday late afternoon games. Seahawks at Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 2 in this game. Austin, you or me?
I can go. I think that eventually the Seahawks have to come back down to earth because they're just flying so high. That offense looks good, but I'm going with Arizona in this one at home. I think Arizona's offense is starting to come through a little bit, and Isaiah Simmons can hopefully make some plays in this one.
I'm going Seahawks on the road. I like the Cardinals a lot in this game, but I just think the Seahawks unlocked a different monster with Kenneth Walker. I think being able to control the game with the ground game is something that is very powerful in this league. And I think that they kind of found a diamond in the rough. They knew they were drafting a stud. I don't think they expected him to be this big of a stud already. DK, he's going to do his thing. Like I said, though, Hop being back on the Cardinals makes them a completely different weapon. They are scary with Hopkins. I'm still going Seahawks in this game. I think Geno is still just playing great football, and I think now they can run the ball. This is a dangerous team.
Yeah, no, they're a very dangerous team. DK does not play well against us. Statistically, you can go look. He doesn't play well against us, and statistically, the Cardinals and Seahawks, no matter what happens, they don't know how to take a series, the whole season series. We split every year. It's happened, I don't know how long. It's going to happen again. We end up winning this week. I do think it's going to be a close game. It's always a close game. But D-Hop, I think that's the key factor. I think if we would have had him game 1, we would have won. And I think he comes out again and 20-something. I think he's at like 23 catches in 2 weeks and over 300 yards already. Dude came out and said, I'm here. I'm still the best in the league. And that's, words out of his mouth. I think he takes over this game like he took over the last 2 and we end up winning.
Love it. All right. Now we've all disagreed on one. Now we were the same all the way up until the Raiders pick. Just so you guys know, we picked everything the same until the Raiders pick. All right. So let's move on to Rams at Bucks. Bucks favored by 3 in this game. And if I would have been looking at the schedule preseason, I would have been like, oh, I can't wait for this game.
Mhm.
I could give a darn about this game right now.
Yeah.
The only reason why I'll even watch or care is because we have the Rams first round pick next year and we want them to keep losing. And I think that they do keep losing. I'm picking the Buccaneers in this game. The Rams offense just can't get it going. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. They just can't. Cam Akers drama's going on. Allen Robinson looks better, but that offense is just so disappointing. I have Higbee in fantasy. He's not doing anything. Yeah, I think the Buccaneers are just a better team. I think that they're going to be able to abuse them with Fournette out of the backfield, as well as I think last name is White, right? Rashad White is the other running back, I believe his name is. But yeah, no, they just have weapons. I'm excited for it, and go Bucks. We need the Rams pick to be high.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks this week too. Like you said, the Rams offense isn't connecting. There's no running game whatsoever on this team. Stafford is on pace to throw. When I was looking at the stats, like I think they said it was like 16 touchdowns this year. That's an insane low amount for this dude.
He's never had an offensive line still. He left the Lions. We get one of the best offensive lines in the league, and he goes and gets another terrible offensive line.
Yeah, I mean,
It's brutal.
I don't see them winning. I don't see them doing anything special. I really don't. I think the Bucks win this, and yeah, it's it's gonna be an ugly game, like you said. I could care less for this game. Both teams are really just disappointments.
Before the season, I would have been like, oh, NFC Championship. No.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks as well. I think a key factor is like Cooper Kupp left the game last game and he was limited in practice today. So he doesn't go. I think that offense is going to be absolutely awful going against what everybody thought was going to be a good Bucks defense, which has been a little bit sketchy this season. But I think that defense bounces back and the Bucks get the win. Tom bounces back.
Love it. All right. Sunday night football. Titans at Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 12.5 in this game. Chiefs. That's it. Austin, you're
Yeah.
muted. Oh, no, man.
I'm going with the Chiefs as well. The Titans are just the Titans, and the Chiefs are just the Chiefs, and that's what it is. It's in Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City. So I think that after the bye week, Mahomes is going to bounce back. Kelsey's going to have a big game. And yeah,
I will. Okay, I just said Chiefs. I know I was gonna keep it short and sweet. That was my short and sweet of the week. I do it every week. But let me just say one thing. Usually, I would say you just have to stop Derrick Henry to beat this team. But when you have an offense like the Chiefs, you don't even have to just stop Derrick Henry. He can go off for his 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. They're still going to score 35 points and win that game.
Yeah.
My bad. I was just going to add one other thing. Watch out for Kadarius Toney in this game too. I think Mahomes is going to look to use him after picking him up at the deadline.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna go Titans just to switch it up because champions only win by taking a risk. But this one's gonna be hard to take a risk on. The Chiefs, to me, are the second best team in the AFC. They are, like Ross said, you don't have to stop Derrick Henry when you're also putting up just as many yards and points as he is. Ryan Tannehill was out of practice today too. That's another thing to look at. Malik Willis could be making a second start, possibly. It doesn't look like it. And last week he did not perform well at all. He looked like dog doo-doo. So give me the Chiefs in this one. And I do think that they hold Henry to under 200 yards.
And fellas, I don't know if you see that pop up.
No.
We have 10 minutes. All right, plenty of time. Monday Night Football, Ravens at Saints. Ravens favored by 2.5 in this game. Saints with one of the most impressive wins last week. That was a dominating win. 24-0, I believe the final score was.
Yeah.
And I believe Austin Reed's the only one to pick the Saints. I believe last week.
I picked Raiders.
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the one who picked the Saints here. Um, I was leaning Saints at home, especially on a primetime game where it gets rocking in there. Saints in primetime games are probably going to come out and they're all blacks, be
Yep.
rocking, the crowd's going to be going nuts. But I think that's what Lamar Jackson lives for. He primetime, he beat the Chiefs. He lives for this kind of stuff. These are the type of games where him and John Harbaugh go, you want to go for it? Yeah, I want to go for it. All right, let's go for it. This is what they live for. They love this stuff. They're getting some reinforcements back. I see that they activated David Ojabo, go blue. I see he's active now. They're getting some weapons back on defense. I'm going Ravens on the road in a dramatic win with the best kicker in the league kicking a game winner.
Yeah, I can definitely see that too, and I'm going with Baltimore in this one as well. I think that offense is just too good, and that Saints defense has been it hasn't lived up to expectations besides last week. So I'm going with
Andy Dalton's like the permanent starter now too.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about that. I was big on Jameis Winston to begin the season, but I just don't believe in Andy Dalton.
You still think Jameis is going to win MVP?
Yeah, come back and
you got the blood pulled on him too quick, bro. He got hurt, and they were like, "Nah, you're done."
Yeah, and I don't know why. I mean, he's a good QB. He does make dumb decisions at times, but
yeah,
better than Andy Dalton. Come on.
I'm gonna go Saints. I'm gonna take. I guess you could call it almost an upset this week.
It's an upset for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the way they played last week. Kamara finally got in the end zone. I hope that gets him going.
Twice.
I need to continue. Yeah, exactly. I think they do it. I definitely think they do it. I think they pull it off, and it's not just because I want to switch things up, but I like to kind of look at NFL and think, oh, what's the one upset that I could look at this week and pick? And that was kind of my one that really stuck out to me just because of what they did to the Raiders last week. And don't get me wrong, the Raiders are, not good this season, but to hold a team with those type of weapons to 0 points in one game is unreal. The defense looked good, obviously, and then they put up 24. So I think the Saints are going to actually pull this one off.
I love it, boys.
Yeah.
All right. And then just adding this week, I don't know why I haven't been doing it the past few weeks, but I do want to shout out bye week this week for the Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Giants, Steelers, and Niners. But yeah, just wanted to shout that out. And without further ado, boys, another episode in the books. Shout out to my guy, Priest Holmes.
Got the Vinty on.
Shout out to Alex Erickson.
Wow.
Damn.
That's Bob's cousin. Don't say his whole name on here, but my boy Bob, that's his cousin. All right.
I just said his whole name on accident.
Yeah, no, we don't do that around here. All right. Just a second, boys. Give me that dang helmet. I got a new haircut. Check out the fade. It's there. Ooh, wrong helmet. Remember, don't forget my glasses.
Jesus.
Let's go. Like, subscribe, stop what you're doing. Like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to this video. We love you guys. Thank you for the interactions. Thank you for the support. We'll see you guys next week. Fall in Line Podcast. We're out. Peace.